Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Kate and Eric Show podcast, brought to you by Faith, Family, and Friends. Sorry, I gotta use a corny little line, but just like to welcome everybody to the show. It's very exciting. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Today, more on Israel, and another clip of the son of Hamas speaks out against Hamas. And then, of course, we had over the weekend of the lovely insurrection in D.C. And finally, we get some of the manifesto from the deadly Nashville shooter manifesto. So we've got a lot to talk about. Or I have a lot to talk about. The dog isn't with me today, so there is no we. But I'm just alone here doing this by myself. So welcome. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who does listen. I do keep track of where the downloads are, where people are listening, and some fun things have been going on that I have seen. We are this show, this audience here, which I'm grateful for everybody. Just like to welcome our newest country. Yes, I did say country, not county or city, but newest country to the Kate and Eric Show, Denmark. It's amazing. It's just amazing. So it's just incredible. So thank you very much to those in Denmark. I do not speak Dutch, so this is just going to be in English. But in all, this show, because of this audience, is in 5 countries: the U.S., obviously, since that's where I live, Denmark, Malaysia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. So thank you so much to everybody getting the word out. It is just amazing. I just kind of sit there and wrap my brain and just think, how do you guys find this show? I'm just doing this from my office in my house. This is just, everything you're getting is pretty raw. The only editing really that I do is kind of just as I'm going. But yes, thank you very much. This show is in 63 cities around the world, and it's just so fun. It's so fun. I was sitting there at the gym this week, and I was just looking to see where everybody is. I can see you wherever you are. But yeah, so I was looking at there to see who all has downloaded, who has listened to the show, and when I saw Denmark, I was so excited. It gave me some energy to finish my workout and then to come here and to continue to do this show. So I thank you very, very much. The city in Denmark is I had to look it up because I don't know my Denmark geography and where cities are, but it is near Copenhagen. So thank you very much. And if I have not mentioned your city and where you are from, I apologize. There are 63, and it would be pretty boring to sit there and listen to all 63 cities. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. It is amazing to sit here and look at this list of cities around the world, where, some of them where I'm like, okay, I do know somebody here, I know somebody there. But yeah, Denmark, I don't know anybody in Denmark. So it is pretty awesome. I'm really, really excited. It's fun to see. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for getting the word out. It's just amazing. So anyway, so today, yeah, there's what I just talked about earlier of the show today. Of course, we got to get into a little bit of sports. There isn't any new baseball. The big baseball news would be, where is Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher from the Angels that they got from Japan? If you're unfamiliar who he is, you've been living under a rock for the last few years. I think even non-baseball fans know who Shohei Ohtani is. But yeah, he's an amazing. He's like one in a million guys, because he can hit the ball and then he can pitch the ball, much like Babe Ruth, and he's been compared to that. So his contract with the Angels is up, so it'll be interesting to see where he lands. I don't know. I think it would be awesome if the Astros could pick him up. You get a pitcher and a hitter, but I don't know if they're willing to pay to get Shohei Ohtani, because I'm guessing he's going to come with a pretty hefty price tag. So I did see the Angels did pick up a new manager. The Astros are still managerless at this moment, but yeah, we'll get somebody in there. But yeah, that's pretty much the baseball news. the college football playoff rankings have come out, and the top, we'll just do top 10 here. FSU and Texas are in the top 10 for the college football playoff rankings. You've got Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, FSU, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Penn State, Louisiana. Oh, sorry, I went to, or not Louisiana, Louisville. But sorry about that. I went to a number 11. But yeah, that's the current rankings right now for the college football. So it'll be very exciting. There's only what is there, 3 games left, I think, of the season. So yeah, BYU got their freaking butts kicked in Morgantown, and that's in West Virginia. If you're not familiar with that, Texas squeaked out a win against Kansas State, and then let's see, FSU. I think they struggled a little bit with Pitt, but they did end up beating Pitt 24-7. So they've got Miami, speaking of Florida State, Miami, North Alabama, so that should be a W. Miami and Florida are the two that will probably give them trouble, but I think they'll pull that out. And then, let's see, what else do we got? BYU, we got to win one more, and then we'll be bowl eligible in our first year in the Big 12, which is exciting. And if you're not an American, you have no idea what the crap I'm talking about. This is college football. Not football as in soccer football, but as football. So there is that. Yeah, BYU's got Iowa State, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. So those last two will be very hard. I actually BYU played Oklahoma back in 2009. That reminds me. And I think I've said this before, but me and my brothers and some friends of theirs and my parents, we went to the first ever football game in Jerry's World. And if you do not know what that is, if you're not from the DFW and you don't watch the NFL, that is where the Dallas Cowboys play. And the first ever football game was BYU Oklahoma, and BYU came up with the victory. I believe it was 14-13, something like that, all those years ago. But yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting college football year. Can't believe it's almost over. Only 3 games left of the regular season, and then you've got the bowls and then the playoffs. I do believe next year they are going to an expanded playoff, which they should have done in the first place. But I guess we'll take what we can get. So then the NFL, the 49ers cannot seem to figure out how to win right now. They've lost 3 in a row. They did have a bye, so they are still number 1 in their division. I guess they're tied with Seattle. Actually, I don't know that I look at it. But, yeah. So this is, the best team, I think, right now is the Eagles at 8-1. So there's that. NHL rankings. I don't really know much about the NHL. Let's see. The Boston Bruins are really great. Looking at the stats here, they're 10-1. And then, if you're a hockey fan, you'll have to kind of fill me in on my socials here. You can go to the Facebook. Hold on, let me pull up my list here. Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Truth Social. If you want to find more content of the Cade and Eric Show, you can go to any of those. So I do post videos, articles and things, and you can see my hands and face on any one of those. Cade and Eric Show on any one of those social medias. So if you're a hockey fan and you're like, oh, this guy's an idiot, he doesn't know the crap he's talking about, you would be correct. I do not know what I'm talking about with hockey. I just look at it and I want to follow one of the local teams. Obviously I'm not going to do a Cowboys because I'm a Niners fan. The Rangers, no. Basketball, no. So last year it was hot. It was kind of exciting to watch the Dallas Stars. So they are 7-3 behind Colorado. And I do not know how the rankings work. I know they have points. I don't know how you score these points. I guess if you win and you win by a certain number of goals, you get points. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the sports update in today's world. So I want to get into this. Let's see here. Excuse me just a minute while I clear my throat. All right, I apologize for that. But I want to get into this manifesto by the Nashville shooter. And if you're unfamiliar with it, it was a woman who identified as a man, so a trans man, or whatever the crap you call her. She went into a Christian school in, I believe it was Nashville, Tennessee, and shot 3 kids and 3 teachers. All 6 of those people died. And the manifesto that she wrote up wasn't brought to light because if you remember that back in the spring, I believe it was, the police department there were very forthcoming. They showed the footage. They went in. They executed their tactics very well because they did not want of all the Texas where that all the cops just kind of sat outside the school and then for like an hour or whatever it was while that horrible man went in there and shot people. So they have been very forthcoming with their information, and then once the FBI took over, it was like, nope, we're not letting any of this out. So Stephen Crowder, however you say his name, he got leaked the manifesto for this trans shooter, and it is very disturbing, the things that she wrote in her little book here. Looks like a school book. It's got all nice writing. Oh, this gun's got flowers on it. Nice. So yeah, back in March, she's even dated it. Wow, March 27th of 23. Now, I apologize. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, just trying to make fun of this whack job. So this is what her manifesto says, and I will post these on my socials so you can see them. I have not posted them yet, but I will get them out. And it says Death Day, and it's got a nice little target on it. It says, Today is the day. The day has finally come! Exclamation point. I can't believe it's here. Don't know how I was able to get this far, but here I am. I'm a little nervous, but excited too. Been excited for the past 2 weeks. Oh, great. She's excited to go murder a bunch of children. Well, here we go. We'll get in more of this. There were several times I could have been caught, especially in the summer of 2021. And why wasn't she caught in the summer of 2021? Oh, that's right. Biden's DOJ and FBI, they had to go round up all the grandmas and all those people that were just kind of walking around, milling around the Capitol on January 6th and put them in jail for 500 years. That's what they were doing. Instead of actually going and seeing what the deal was with these freaking crazy people. And there's always clues. There's always things. Oh yeah, we knew stuff was going on, and we just blah blah blah. But yeah, so the FBI and all that kind of stuff, they were hunting down, your grandma for going down to the Capitol and just kind of walking around. But like I said, over the weekend here, we had a nice, of course, terrorist rally, pro-Palestinian rally. And, they always say it was mostly peaceful. We learned that from the summer of 2020, these mostly peaceful protests, right? Even though there was a raging fire behind the idiot CNN reporters. So the same thing kind of happened over the weekend, too, where, they decided they would graffiti and deface monuments, statues, leave their garbage, leave their stupid flag all over, the Washington, D.C. area, and then tried to break down the White House fence, trying to climb it and all kinds of great, nice, fun, mostly peaceful stuff, But yeah, so that's, they're not going to go after that, but, we got to go after everybody who was there for January 6th. So back to this here. None of that matters now. This is the manifesto. None of that matters now. I am almost an hour and 7 minutes away. Why that's important. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. Yeah, we can't believe you did it either. I hope my victims aren't. What the crap is the matter with her? My only fear is if So I apologize. I really do know how to read, but her writing is horrendous. So it's taking me a minute to kind of decipher what she wrote. So yes, I do know how to read. If you're wondering what's the matter, what is the matter with this guy? He can't freaking read. But yes, so this isn't typed out. This is in her handwriting, and it's not very good. So my only fear is if anything goes wrong, I'll do my best to prevent. She scratched a word out. Prevent of the sort. God, let my wrath take over my anxiety. Yeah, God's not on your side if you're trying to murder children and people like this. He's not on your side. So, yeah, that's not how that works. It might be 10 minutes tops. It might be 3 to 7. It's gonna be quick. Oh, excuse me. It's gonna go quick. I hope I have a high death count. My gosh, this is the evil in this lady. Holy crap. Ready to die, underline, ha ha ha, and then she signs her name. Oh my gosh. Just the amount. Oh gosh. Oh, but the left and everybody will say, "Oh well, it's the guns. The guns are the problem." No, look, read this crap, and it's their problem. It is the shooter's problem. It's never the firearms problem. Let's see. Oh, she has another. It's a different entry, different date. 2/3/2023. She's going to use explicit language. So if you're listening with kids, just maybe not have them listen at this particular point, or if they're around. She writes a warning. So if you want to kind of pause for a second, there is a warning. But kill those kids. Underline 3 exclamation points. Those crackers. And by the way, she went to this school when she was younger. Just remember, if you don't remember that, she went to this school when she was younger. Going to private fancy schools with those fancy quackies. She doesn't know how to spell khakis. Apparently spells with a W. And sport backpacks with their Daddy's Mustangs and convertibles. F you little shizzes. I wish to shoot you weak ass. Oh my gosh, it's just the mental and it lost for words. I wish to shoot you weak ass dicks with your mop yellow hair. Oh, good. Want to kill all you little crackers, a bunch of little faggots with your white privilege. F you faggots. Wait a minute, I thought we couldn't say faggot I thought that was a word that you couldn't say with the LGBT 5437882+6 crowd. I thought that was a word that you couldn't say, but apparently that's not true. As long as they say it. All right. So yes, there is more. There is 3 pages that have been released. This is the 3rd page. All right. Later schedule. Death Day. Capitalize. Underline. Lunch may be around. So there's a little sticky note. Lunch may be around 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. Oh, she has her day planned out. That's great. 6:30. Desired. 7 o'clock, get dressed, and then the sticky note covers the rest of it. 7:05 through 7:55 a.m. and I don't know what it says because the sticky note covers it. Stuffed animals and possessions. I guess say goodbye to your stuffed animals and possessions. 9 o'clock, eat breakfast at home. Oh, home's got a nice little heart. Oh, that's cute. 9:30, pack up special belongings and backpacks. 9:50, test a knife car glass breaker. Dad's old cars. Don't know what that means. 10 a.m. leave for some kind of range. And then she lays out a time, 19 to 20 minutes. 10:20, gear up plus set guns in trunk, assemble and get out vest with mags inside. 11:20 final videotape. 10 minutes. 11:30. There isn't anything for 11:30. 11:35 leave for the school. She doesn't spell it right, and I don't remember what the name of the school was, so she lays there for the school. 12 p.m. arrive at Covenant. Check parking lot for security. Oh, good. 12:05 arrive in designated parking space. Oh, so she scoped this all out. That's just great. 12:05 to 12:10 prepare for attack. She scratched out the after 12:10 lock and load all weapons. 12 looks like 37 open fire towards the school. Apparently, I don't know, but I can't read this word because she doesn't know how to write. So there you go. There's the manifesto. I will be posting this on my socials, so if you want to look at it, it has, because it was released to what's his face, Crowder, whatever his name is. I can't remember. But anyway, so there's the manifesto for the horrific evil shooter from Nashville. Just awful. Yeah. So just a bizarre thing. I mean, she did go to that school when she 10 years ago, whatever it was that she went there. She went to that school. She went there, and apparently, none of the people that were there when she was there were teaching this year. So the people who were there now and back in back then, back in the spring or March or whenever that was, those weren't the same people that were there at the school when she was there either. So she just decided to go murder just a bunch of people. She obviously, based on her own writing, is that she wanted the death count to be high. And unfortunately, 6 people did end up being killed before the great police department there in Nashville took her out. Just evil. And, of course, like I said earlier, you have the evil, I would say they're evil, but you've got the left out there, screaming and yelling because I think that, there was another shooting here fairly recently, and I apologize, I don't remember where it was, but of course the first thing they talk about is we got to get rid of the guns. We have to get rid of the guns because the guns are the problem. Guns. Right there, guns aren't writing these notes, ladies and gentlemen. You can bring the kids back because I'm done with that part. The guns aren't writing these things out. The guns aren't premeditating murdering people. Those are the disturbed individuals. This is what happens when we have God removed from our society. This is what happens when mental illnesses are coddled instead of treated. And guns will never and have never been the problem in any of our society. It's never been the problem. It's not the guns' fault that they're used inappropriately or not for their intended use. We have a Second Amendment for a reason. And it's just horrible how people use that amendment. It is just horrible how people use that right that we have in these ways. But, what do you do about it? What do you do to stop these kinds of things? Look for these signs, look for the signs. And, you can't obviously arrest somebody for a future crime. That's you can't do that. We're not in Minority Report or whatever, I believe that's how that movie goes, where they arrested people for future crimes. But yeah, we don't have that system. But it's not the guns problem, because if it were the guns problem, I think there are more guns in the United States of America than there are people. So if the guns were the actual problem, we would know. My guns just sit where I have them, and they are the laziest pieces of garbage. Then I mean, they just sit there. They don't do anything day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. They just sit where I've stored them, and they don't do anything. They're just super, super, absolutely lazy. It's just horrible, just absolutely horrible. But yeah, she targeted, and then if you remember right, I don't have the clip pulled right now, but if you remember what happened the day of, Biden had a press conference, and he was sitting there joking with the press about ice cream. He's like, "Oh well, I came down because I thought there was ice cream, not a joke. Well, but it doesn't matter because I have a whole fridge upstairs with ice cream." So yeah, that's what he joked about the day that happened. Just horrible. I mean, clearly, this white privilege bullcrap that she's talking about here, that's perpetrated by the left. There's no white privilege. This whole ridiculous thing that white people are the problem, that white culture is the problem. Well, they would say there is no white culture. And I would say, why don't you look back in history? Look at the Renaissance. Look at all the buildings and things that were painted and sculpted and created during that time if there's no white culture. Look at Europe during that time, during the 1500s, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael. And no, I'm not talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I did list them all for, speaking of Ninja Turtles. But yes, there is white culture, and it is not white people's problem. It's not their fault. She's just mentally deranged, clearly. So yes, so that has finally come out, and yes, I said I will post these pictures on my socials if you've not already seen them, but I will post them anyway. So this Israel thing is just, speaking of like the loss of humanity, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but over these last few weeks, there have been posters of the people that have been kidnapped all over major cities. People post them up saying, trying to get people aware, say, hey, these people are missing still. They're still kidnapped by these terrorists. And then you've got these freaking douchebags out there tearing down these pictures. It's just, there's a clip. Maybe I'll get that one. Hold with me just a minute. If you hear a bunch of noise, that's going to be me trying to pull up a video. But let's see. There's a video out there where this scumbag is ripping down pictures in New York City. What do I have? I know I have it somewhere.
Have you guys seen this yet?
See, apologize for any noise. I'm trying to pull this up here, but maybe let's see. Pause just a moment. I apologize for that, but here we go. So this is a guy who has torn down. The video cuts direct to where the guy's confronted. But apologize if there's language. I apologize. Well, not really, because I think these kind of scumbags need to be, made aware of. But yes. So here is this clip.
He's not Jewish. I don't know if he is or not. Doesn't fucking matter. This is fucking the USA. It's New York City. You don't have a fucking right to touch that shit. This is a free country. You can wave your Palestine flag and say death to the Jews or America whenever you want. But we can put up fucking signs. Okay? Then don't rip that down. You are doing something. You're offending us, motherfucker. Yeah, you are. When you throw that on the floor, you're littering the city. In a minute, I'm going to litter the fucking floor with you. So move the fuck on. You have proof they're not kidnapped? No, so shut the fuck up. I know that's what you want. I'm dying to fucking put you in the hospital. Come on. Peace out. Right? I'm a veteran.
He's like, I'm dying to put you in the hospital. Good. confront these pieces of garbage that sit there and rip down these posters because it offends them, because they're anti-Semitism crap. But yeah, that's just one clip, and they're all over the place. People ripping down these signs of these Jews that have been kidnapped, and it's not just Israelis either. There are Americans. There is people from countries around the world that have been captured by Hamas, and so just dirtbags. Also, if anybody knows, and I have not found anything here yet. I've seen things that have happened in the past. But if anybody knows of any pro-Israel rally here in the DFW area, will you let me know on any of the socials? Just say, hey, this is where we're going, or this is what we're doing. I would really appreciate it, because I would like to go and participate. I've kind of looked a little bit, but the ones that I have found have been in the past that have already happened. But yes, and along with some other things, there have been 40 attacks on U.S. personnel all over the Middle East, and then we are responding in kind by, bombing targets in Syria. So that's great. I'm actually kind of surprised, to be honest, this demented, pooped his pants administration. They screamed, whatever her stupid name is, KGP, sit there and talks about Islamophobia and other crap. But, it's just, I'm kind of surprised they're actually kind of sticking up for Israel, to be honest. I did not expect that at all. And then you have the stories of, there is a pro-Palestinian protest, riot, I'm going to call it. And then there was a counter protest with Jews, and there was a guy, an elderly gentleman, who was attacked, and I don't think there's been any arrest up to this point, where he was attacked by a megaphone, and he ended up getting hit in the head by the megaphone, and then falling to the ground, hitting his head on the concrete, and he was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately he did pass away due to his injuries. I forget how old he was. I want to say in his 70s. But it's just absolutely despicable. And I see videos of pro-Israel rallies all over, and there's no violence, there's no graffiti, there's no evil chants, there's no any of that crap. They're very they do confront the Palestinian people, so they're screaming and yelling back and forth with the different groups. But there isn't destruction. There isn't a pro-Israel rally trying to tear down the White House fence and saying "F you, Joe Biden," which I agree with them on that one, actually. Let's go, Brandon. But then there was another one here in the United States, another crazy anti-Semitic douchebag where I did that one already. There's a crazy man in LA in his underwear. I don't know why he was in his underwear, but he went to a Jewish family's home and he tried to kill that entire family. But luckily, the police were called and he was arrested. I do have a clip of that, and guess what he's saying. Oh, there's also the Rashid Tlaib was also censured on the House floor, so that's awesome. Good, shut her stupid face. But I have it here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Ready? And so this is him babbling and nonsense.
Again, this is what the suspect was yelling as he was being taken into custody after reportedly breaking into a family home at 5:25 this morning.
And a suspect broke into the residence here inside with 4 children.
The terrified family in Studio City calling 911, asking for help after they say the suspect yelled that he wanted to, quote, kill them because he reportedly said they're Israeli.
Suspects ready to kill the PR due to the race.
The family is Jewish, Jewish, but it's unclear if they're from Israel. Also unclear is how the suspect knew they were Jewish, since it didn't appear they'd ever seen him before. Meanwhile, the man, found only wearing underwear, kept on shouting facts and figures about Palestine and other comments not suitable for television. Average age of the Palestinian is 19 years old.
Oh, I'm sure he was quoting facts and figures. Come on, give me a break. I missed that the first time around when I saw this video. Facts. I do have that one posted on my socials, so if you want to check that out. But yeah, he's just sitting there in his underwear in the cop car. But yeah, I'm sure this stable individual who's in his underwear trying to kill an entire family because he thinks they're Israeli, or, I guess they're Jewish. I'm sure he's got great facts and figures there. That's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, gosh. But, yeah, there is that. Another one, this great man, he is sitting, I don't know what city he is in, but he's in one, I assume it's New York City, by the way it looks. But he's a lone man. There is a cameraman, so I guess he's got a friend. So congratulations to him. He's got a friend. If you have a friend too, that's awesome. Congratulations to you too. But so he's out there singing the Israeli national anthem, and he is surrounded by a bunch of lovely, mostly peaceful protesters. Oh, it would help if the sound was on when you play videos there. Oh, what happened there? So where's their enthusiasm? What happened to the river to the sea? Palestine will be free. The rock concert, yeah! But yeah, he continued. There was cops around. That's who he was thinking. He wasn't thinking the people around him who have the Palestinian flags, basically, covering him as like a blanket. There are signs. There's a swastika that says, and then there's an equal sign on one of their stupid signs, and it has the Israeli flag. So yeah, so the swastika, their equivalent to that is the Nazis. But yeah, where's their enthusiasm? Where's all this from the river to the sea? Palestine will be free. Blah, 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 blah. But props to that guy, man, for sitting there, standing there, taking it, the screaming and yelling, and you can just hear the hate. You can just hear the absolute hate for these people that these pro-Palestinian people have for Jews. You can just hear it. And then finally, he just continues singing. He doesn't get in their face. He just continues to sing the Israeli national anthem. Thanks to cops. There's a couple of cops around him that I saw. And yeah, he just stands there, sings a song, and thanks to cops. Hopefully that guy made it home okay. But yeah, just the absolute hate that these people have for Jews. It's just amazing. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the crap is the deal with the Jewish people. I don't understand why there's so much hate for the Jews. I mean, that land has been their land for thousands of years prior to any Arab, prior to Muhammad, prior to any Muslim, prior to Christianity. I mean, Jews were there during the Romans, during everything prior to them. The Babylonians, the Assyrians. They've been there for a very, very long time. That's their land. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's just incomprehensible to me. I don't understand this hate for the Jews. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand, the whole chant from the river to the sea, which Rashid Tlaib, the congresswoman, the lovely congresswoman, part of the Hamas caucus, who has been censured now from the lovely House of Representatives, which is great, so she can just shut up. She's passionate about that. Ilham Omar is passionate about, she's very passionate about the Palestinians. She's, I think I played a couple episodes ago, of her just getting in the face of these reporters, asking about what's, condemning the attacks. And then on the House floor, she gets there and she's got a very passionate speech defending Rashid. And then I think, where's your passion for America that you supposedly represent? Where's that passion for the people here in the United States of America, where you live? But apparently there isn't any, because that doesn't matter, because it's the evil America, evil Israel and evil America. But it's just incredible. I don't understand this hate. I don't understand why. I say, I hate people, or I hate Oklahoma, because I'm a Texas fan, or I hate, the University of Utah because I'm a BYU fan. But I don't, that's all just sports and it's rivalry crap. But the kind of hate, I don't wish to kill any of them at all. But just this kind of hate, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But there is a clip there. There's another clip of this Hamas's son, one of the Hamas founders. I did say I was going to play that. It's a 10-minute clip, so I'm not going to play all of that because that would be pretty boring. Oh, and then let me do that first, and then I'll do this other thing that's really funny. He's being interviewed by Piers Morgan.
Joined now by Mossad, Hassan Youssef. Mossad, great to see you. It's an extraordinary story, yours. You were the eldest son of a man who was one of the co-founders of Hamas, and indeed for your early formative years, you worked alongside your father, so you've got a great insight into Hamas. Tell me this from the start. What were the intended plans for Hamas when it was founded, when it started, when it developed? What was the plan?
Since its establishment, Hamas has one goal in mind, which is annihilating the state of Israel. Like, the best, let's say, compromise that they could do is having a truce for 15 years, a ceasefire for 15 years as maximum, but with no guarantee how they will act after. It's absurd. It's not a secret that Hamas wants to destroy the state of Israel. They cannot accept Israel or accept Israel's right to exist.
What was the point that you decided to get out of there, to flee this world, this environment you've been brought up in?
I have many reasons. Since I was a child, I asked my father many questions about Hamas delusions, about their brutality, about their abuse of power, and always he justified, their position. Then I was imprisoned with Hamas. I spent about 27 months in Israeli prisons where Hamas was torturing their own members, our own people, within Israeli prisons. They killed actually and tortured hundreds of prisoners. And this is when I start asking myself the question, what if Hamas become the ruler at some point? What will they do to our people? And many years later, Hamas became the ruler of Gaza. And I wasn't surprised by their brutality.
When you heard what happened on October the 7th, what was your feeling about that?
Look, as I told you, I'm not surprised by Hamas brutality, but I was surprised by the scale of their attack. You know, not to this degree, wiping out entire communities, you know, messing with a nuclear power, the most powerful country in the region, a country with a trauma, great trauma from the past, with a memory of a Holocaust and all the Nazis did in the past century. They opened the gates of hell on the Palestinian people. This is how irresponsible this group people are. You know, that they are willing to actually sacrifice many Palestinian children, the entire Palestinian people, and use them as a fuel to just achieve their ideological agendas, their religious agendas. They are careless. They don't care for the human life. We have to separate between what's so-called Palestinian cause and Hamas cause. Hamas cause is a sick one. It's coming from the pit of hell, you know, and they need to be removed from power. This is my message. As an ex-Hamas member, as a son of one of Hamas founders, that enough of this. If we don't stop them now, the next war is going to be deadlier, and only God knows what will happen next if Hamas is not finished as soon as possible.
So how many regular Palestinians, particularly in Gaza, do you think sympathize with Hamas or indeed fully support them?
You know, once Hamas is removed from power, we're going to witness people celebrating in Gaza. I guarantee you that. The people of Gaza are oppressed for so long, and they have to endure siege, they have to endure violence, many wars, for the sake of Hamas' lust for power and for Hamas' political ambition. When this comes to an end, I promise you that the Palestinian people, first of all, will thank Israel for what they did. Second, the idea of annihilating the Jews and the state of Israel will be dropped forever. You know, because Hamas is you can say, the last experiment of adapting violence, trying to annihilate and destroy the state of Israel. This didn't work for Yasser Arafat. It took him 40 years to realize this. And Hamas has been trying for 35 years to destroy Israel. Finally, I hope that they will come to this understanding that Israel is going nowhere. If they insist on annihilating Israel, and of course, if Iran keeps on insisting on this goal, this means the destruction of the entire region. This is the only and certain outcome of this, because Israel is going nowhere.
How do we get to peace?
All right, that's about half of it. Apologize for those little beeps from my stupid computer in the middle of that. But that's about half. It's about 5 minutes, so I can post the rest of that later. But yeah, you have all these people sitting there blaming Israel or blaming America or blaming whoever else. It's like, the thing with the guns. They want to blame the guns, and they're sitting there blaming the wrong freaking people or the wrong thing. It's not the guns, it's not the Jews, it's not the Israelis who are to blame. In this instance, it's Hamas. Hamas doesn't care. They put their weapons, they build their tunnels, they have all their ammunition and crap in these tunnels, under the hospitals, in these refugee camps, and the Israelis. They're like, hey, you got the civilians, get them out, go away. You've got to get out of there. And they provide corridors for them to leave. I saw videos where they're just letting them leave. And, who's shooting them? It would be the Hamas. And they're targeting those people. And it's just, they're blaming the wrong thing. They're blaming the wrong people. But, just absolutely horrible. Like I said, I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand why these people hate the Jews so much. It doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me. But one little thing to end on kind of a funny note, is that the Dominican Republic, this is totally different subject, but the Dominican Republic president didn't know they had a president, so apologize for that. But he was with, I believe, I want to say this was last week, maybe it was last week, the week before, but he was in the White House visiting with Biden. And, he's telling them they can cut, when Biden visits to do this summit or whatever it is in the Dominican Republic, where Biden can go when the summit's done. So let's just have a little listen and a fun little way to end it today.
President, we look forward to welcoming you soon to the Dominican Republic at the next Summit of the Americas in 2025. Where we will continue to develop the bonds of prosperity, security, and democracy that bind us together. And that summit will be in Punta Cana, so you have time to be on the beach.
Hopefully, let me play that again if you didn't catch that there at the end. Just a minute.
Mr. President, we look forward to welcoming you soon to the Dominican Republic at the next Summit of the Americas in 2025, where we will continue to develop the bonds of prosperity, security, and democracy that bind us together. And that summit will be in Punta Cana, so you have time to be on the beach.
And you will have time to be on the beach, because that's where he spent 45% of his presidency is in Delaware on the beach. Way to go, Dominican Republic president. I don't remember his name. Well, you can spend the time on the beach. Just brilliant. Nice job. He's sitting there smiling like, yeah, I got you. Biden's sitting there like, oh yeah, okay. So, great times with President Pooped His Pants. Well, sadly, it's been another week. And thank you so much to everybody who does listen. Thank you to all the new listeners, and of course, thank you to the recurring weekly listeners. I really appreciate it. So please like, subscribe, follow, and share. I'm on any platform where you get a podcast, and then you can check out my other content with these other clips and videos and things all over my other social medias on. I gotta pull up the list because there's a lot, and I do try to get all of them updated. So Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Truth Social. So please go check those out for more content. Caden Eric Show on all of those. So hopefully you have a great week. It is finally kind of chilly here in the DFW area. It's not like 500 degrees. I believe it was like 57 or something earlier, and it's raining. So it's a nice day to stay inside. But, yeah. So hopefully you have a great week wherever you are. And I will talk with you next time. Bye-bye.